Hey y'all, it is me, Erica Aiden, your chakra healing alignment coach. And today I'm going to do a quick recap, okay? And the first thing that I'm going to do is uh, I'm reviewing, gosh, just why I'm here and why you're here and how we're going to connect or how we do connect, okay? So I have a bio and I was just reading it and I thought to myself, maybe I should read this out loud and give some context, okay? So in my bio it says, okay, first line, I am a seeker, deeply connected to God, the universe, and the wisdom of the ancients. And here's the funny thing is that I'm not just a seeker. A girlfriend of mine, we were at a book club that I'm in, and she said, Erica, you're an explorer, which, what a compliment, right? But I look for things and I look for connection. I look for disconnection. I am so interested in the inner workings of a human being. When I was in college, I studied psychology. I didn't finish. But like that was kind of the catalyst in me. I love to study things and people and words and the connections and funny, the next thing is deeply connected to God and the universe and the wisdom of the ancients. Is that I um my own guides have called themselves the ancients to me. And while I've read the Bible and I was raised Mormon, so I there's a different understanding of God and maybe even religion. uh, I know I'm deeply connected to God, and I know ways that I have that I seek out that personal relationship, and oftentimes I try to connect people to God as well, or the universe, right? Whatever you call it, God, light, love, the universe. We can call that anything, and we should know that so deeply that sometimes God calls him me, which is from a poem that I absolutely love. And the universe, I say in my own life that I'm the universe's blank daughter, right? Sometimes it's the universe's defiant daughter. Sometimes it's the universe's loved daughter. Sometimes it's I'm the universe's chaotic daughter. There are so many ways that I connect because I know that this world is a chaotic, crazy place. I also know that I'm loved. I also know, though, that the universe blesses me with these things, but also I can see it working in other people's lives when they just don't see it. And I think that that's the disconnect when people like forget that they're connected to one another and connected to spirit and connected to the universe and light and love and all those things. And when we forget those things, that's when things hold, things like anger and negativity and sadness and grief and things like that. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. But I started my energy healing journey. I can't even remember the year it was that I was trained in therapeutic touch, and I had this wonderful teacher, and it it was one of those moments or one of those like trainings in my life that it just made sense, like connecting with another person energetically and to move through that and to help them move through that. The things you can tell from somebody when you get connected to their energy. And of course, that got me interested in other things. So things like chakra, things like energy medicine, or not energy medicine, Chinese medicine, and the meridians and the I Ching and the Tao, Buddhism. Like just it sort of exploded my mind into something that was completely different than what I had learned as a child. And so this leads me into my next sentence, which is my upbringing shaped my spiritual journey, blending tradition with lived experience. I have had such a such an interesting life. I value so much um, living, like, and like maybe not even just living life to the fullest, but experiencing as many things as I possibly can. So I've sadly put myself in situations that are horrible that I've learned from, and I don't ever want to experience those again because lesson learned, right? I'm the universe's defiant daughter. Sometimes the universe's stupid daughter that likes to make a lot of mistakes. Because I'm a tough learner too. Like it takes sometimes years, as the universe could probably attest, to learn a lesson. But um, again, I think it's important to live fully and to the freest extent as you possibly can, which also brings in being authentic. Like you can't live, well, my opinion, okay, this is my opinion, that living behind masks and pretending to be something that you're not, or good or bad, right? Like some people pretend that they're better to get where they want to go, and those kinds of things, and those masks that we put on, or we put on a mask of something that we don't want to be or we're not, and we live in that space. And like understanding who you are and giving yourself that freedom to be authentic, to be whatever it is you are. Sometimes it's an emotional person, sometimes it's a logical person, sometimes you live just in your gut, right? Sometimes, I mean, there's all kinds of people that we are, and if we just give ourselves a little grace and understanding, and grace being like the power of energy, or the energy of progress, is so uplifting, where we can learn the lessons and not beat ourselves up, and understanding who we are each present moment, and that includes all the things that have happened to us and the lessons that we get to learn. So authenticity and freedom, two of my core values, like, and having fun, right? Like I think it's important that we don't look at this life as only work, and when it becomes work, that's not fun anymore, and it's not serving your spirit. um I try again just to bring that into other people's lives. um the next couple sentences are pretty hard. So I'm going to start with mother awakened the nurturer in me, while marriage taught me self-respect. My first marriage silenced me, and my second showed me the power of self-love. And those two sentences are wild. I got married really young. I had a baby at 20, and she is such a beautiful soul. I had the privilege of giving birth to my soulmates, and she awakened something in me. She's going to be 30 soon, but she awakened something in me that was so powerful. And my second daughter, she was, when I held her the first time, she was really my heart's answer to itself. And again, like the privilege to know these two little souls who, we're pretty sure, we haven't done any past life identification or anything like that, but I'm fairly certain that we've been a family unit for millennia, for lifetimes. And so it's such a privilege. And the first marriage ended pretty quickly. It was, to say it was a hard marriage is an understatement. And I won't go into that much, and I won't go into the second one either. But the second relationship was with a man who, um, just, I don't know that we were in it for the right reasons. And I learned from that to love myself even more than I thought I had already, like, brought into myself, right? Um, and so those two, and then motherhood, like, really showed me who I am. And then the next sentence, loss, especially losing a child, reshaped my understanding of grief, love, and resilience. And self reflection is my daily practice, which I lost my daughter, my youngest daughter, 4 years ago. Um, and to say that it reshaped me, and my understanding is just true. I like grieving her is one of the hardest things I've ever done, and I continue to grieve for her. I miss her. I have dreams about her. I had a dream about her last night, and I think that that was something that was so powerful, and continues to be powerful because I still connect with her, in the next thing that she is, right, the energy that she is now. But it gave me a deeper understanding, not just of myself but of other people. And grief does something to each one of us that is different, and it's very powerful. And it can be breaking, or it can be building, and I have chosen to be that it's building. And it's taught me a lot about my resilience. And I uh, again, self-reflection, to say that I do it daily is not. I think that's another understatement. I think, like a lot of people, I'm often way too hard on myself, and to figure out within the last year or so since I started Sage and Bridges, most of those videos are on Facebook. Um, but to awaken in myself an understanding of other people and myself, and how we connect and how we bounce off of each other and how we connect to each other, is it's really my goal to understand this so deeply that I can translate it to you, and I can help my clients get into a space where, if we're talking about grief in the coaching, talking about loss, okay, and grief and loss are two different things, and you don't have to have lost a child or lost somebody significant, but we lose things all the time. We lose jobs, we lose relationships, we lose, just, there's loss. And if we can transform that loss into a deeper understanding of who we are and why we are, and maybe living in a peaceful self-awareness idea, and then also living in our purpose, and either discovering purpose or a new purpose, or like doling out what purpose is for what, and understand that we can continue to make progress in this. And this is where the 5A comes in, where we're considering ourselves as this person that we want to be, but living in the now. And that's the self-reflection that I bring out in people. We sit and meditate and consider what the imagery brings up, and where is it living, and how do we make those things happen. And so then the next line is in my bio is, I know the battle between self-doubt and empowerment, but I also know we can rewrite our narratives. Transformation happens when we release limiting beliefs and step into our truth, which is true. And like, full disclosure, guys, is that as a coach and as an energy healer, I go through this all the time. I still battle with self-doubt. But in that self-doubt, when I say something nasty to myself, or something ugly, or think I can't do this, then I have to go back in terms and say, okay, how am I going to let what I just said to myself shift? And how do I use this as empowerment? I'm not good at, I don't understand this. Don't I don't know how to do this. And or you can't do it, right? Those are self-doubt, limiting doubts, limiting beliefs. When we start to release those things, we can move through those things quicker, right? Like, we don't have to hold on to a limiting belief. We don't have to hold on to self-doubt. What we get to do is turn it back on its head and step into the truth of who you are, and then also that person that you want to be. Because if you stop, and you're not striving to be a better person or a different person or whatever it is, then you're just living in a place that's stuck in the past, maybe. I think it's important that we grow. And I think it's important that we do these things creatively, which is another one of my core values, is to get creative with the ways that we work together as human beings, as an energy, a chakra alignment coach, an energy healer. Like, all of those things are so exciting to be able to like witness a transformation in somebody. And here's the thing: is that my expertise, this is the next line, right? My expertise, geez, that's a big word. My expertise is both lived and learned, and life isn't just about existing. This is about becoming. And one of the things that I've thought about a million times is, like, when I work with somebody, what do I call them? Like, typically people call them clients, and I think that it's deeper than that. I think this is a journey that we take together, and sometimes we need a guide. We need somebody that says, "Hey, I've got this system that I think is going to work for you," and we dig into it, and we dig deep, and we get into those things that make us misaligned, right? So, and once we can figure out what is misaligning us, whatever it is that we need to acknowledge, which is the first A in the sage shift, acknowledging where you are, where you've been, and who you've been. And maybe those are things that you try to ignore. I've made a lot of mistakes in my past, right? And I don't want to face them. Well, sometimes we have to say, yeah, I did that, and then move on. Like, it's just that complete acknowledgement. We don't have to dwell on it. We don't have to talk about it. I'm not a therapist. What I want to do is I want you to take that step. And then we move into a place where we can awaken that thing, that value in our life that we're looking to build up, and knowing and awakening to who we really are, that person that is just listening to those limiting beliefs and saying, man, that's not true. And then we awaken that. And that's just one example of how we awaken. And as soon as we start to align our thoughts with our actions, with our belief systems, with our core values, with ourselves, we align that. And once that starts, and that starts to hold, right? And we start feeling that alignment. And this is sometimes where that healing, that chakra healing, that chakra alignment comes in, because we're really focusing on, where are we living? Are we living in our power? Are we living in our heads? Are we connecting with our crown chakra? What are we doing, and how are we doing it? And along those lines, then we're arising, which is the fourth A. And in the fourth A, as we start to arise, you start to feel like you're waking up. You start to feel like things start to make sense. What we do, what we say, we're now like figuring out that I have these emotions, which we're gonna have emotions. As a matter of fact, today I had a crappy day, and in that day, I came home. I didn't want to hang out. I didn't want to do anything. I went upstairs into our room and death scrolled for a little bit, and then turned that off. Was just in silence, and I breathed into all of the emotions, the frustrations, the things that made the day shitty, and then thought to myself, okay, I'm taking accountability for my part. And this is what it looks like. And these are the things that are frustrating. Like, you have to, you don't have to, you get to arise to that new sense of self. And then, like, finally, all of this work that you do is a gift to you. So accept it. Number 5, accept. And that's how that the sage shift works. Okay. So now that we've done energy 101, now that we've done like what is energy, which by the way, it's everything. The energy system, the human system, the subtle bodies, the physical body. We've talked about the central nervous system. I'm going to go through just kind of a list, right? We've talked about how and why energy gets misaligned. and how we get stuck in these places, and why it feels like that. And once we hold on to those things, they're just going to be stuck. So once we release it, once we figure out how to unblock it, things start to flow better, right? All of your energy is flowing in, up, down, inside, out. Okay. We've talked about the chakras. We've talked about um, grounding and releasing, and we've talked about the subtle bodies and the physical bodies and the emotional bodies. We've covered a lot of ground in this. We've talked about energy and what it is and why it is and how it works. And now we're going to start to put some of these things into some action. Okay. So this, thanks so much. If you stuck around, I super appreciate you. I know this was a super long one, but I want you to know that now that we know what energy is, now we know why energy is. Now we're going to start utilizing this, and we're going to start tying some things together pretty quick, right? So first, also, before I let you go, I am planning on doing a 45-minute seminar here on YouTube, and it's just going to be, we're going to cover energy again. We're going to do Energy 101 in just this nice little package, and then simultaneously, or before actually, because I think we're going to do that in a couple weeks. Um, Before that, we're going to start talking about the sage shift and the 5A system, and also how it works with chakra. So stick with me, because all of you subscribers, I am so thrilled and excited for you to be joining me on this journey. And the next videos that are going to come out, it's going to be a different group of them. Okay, it's going to be the Sage Shift, and that is by Sage and Bridges, which is me, your energy healing alignment coach, right? Chakras. And hey, if I haven't told you in the last few days, which I haven't, you are loved. And I'll see you next time.